So yeah. So what's happening, y'all? It's Kelsito, spirit coach, getting you in shape or form for this age of Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do the new moon and Raven stream, new moon and Raven stream today. We're gonna try to slow it down and just do a stream. You know what I'm saying? Show y'all how I stream, type shit. But this new moon and Raven. So, like I said, the theme is you're gonna be unfulfilled with your emotions and feelings about reciprocation, love, relationship, and things where we all experience some unfulfilling type of situation, circumstance, and just put us in a position where we had to develop a new response, a new reaction, and things to that energy. So, astrology, using astrology in real time, is spiritually is planting seeds. You know what I'm saying? So every time you go through a circumstance and a situation throughout a pocket of the year, you learn that pocket. You feel me? Especially if you handle that situation in a positive way. So next year around the same time, because we only experience spring, summer, fall, and winter, you're gonna experience that again. And it always come back to you, but it's for you to remind yourself of how you did it last year and what was your intent behind that, and was it positive or negative? Was it positive or negative? Was your mind behind that obstacle that you overcame, whatever you came to the conclusion is going to show back up, the next year through a similar circumstance. And depending on how you how you change would determine what will pop up back next year when that same experience come around. So that's what astrology is. It's planting seeds and things, you know. But for the most part, what's up, y'all? Everybody up and at them, But yeah, like I said, new moon and Raven. This is gonna be us getting to specific things dealing with relationship, get more specific in our relationship and things. And so when we have a new moon, the moon is void. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to find a new moon anywhere in your geographical location because it's in the same place. Well, it's facing the sun. You know what I'm saying? It's not facing the sun because if it was facing the sun, 180-degree angle, it would be a full moon. But it's not, so it's directly conjunct with the sun. And this is this when you have those types of interactions and shit like that, when you conjunct with the sun, it'll be in the same place as the emotions. So, a lot of us may just be expressing our own sentiment without realizing like how it's affecting others or something like that. And you can go to extreme in the ego, you know what I'm saying? You can go super extreme in your ego, very, very extreme in your ego, to the point where what you say, it may not be able to, you may not see how you emotionally connected to it or care about how you emotionally connected to it. Now that ain't negative or positive. You know what I'm saying? You can express something where you may have to just say it, you know what I'm saying, just to get it out there and things. So that's what a lot of conjunction signs go through. You know, they have to realize that um, a lot of the times how they feel is just purely upon how they thinking about something or want to express it, and them having to adjust a little bit via interaction with others. But this kind of would make them powerful in a way where they can like they almost it's almost like they got psychic abilities because it's like they ask can see past, you know what I'm saying, see past the bullshit, you know what I'm saying. They're like it's all it's more so leaning on their creativity, you know what I'm saying, their emotions and shit like that. So it's like it's an interesting, you know what I'm saying, concept. But yeah, so you might express something, you know what I'm saying, that may not feel like it's necessarily connecting or something like that. You know, and the goal is to connect with others and things. So the what you may say something because the sun is in Libra or the moon is in Libra. You may say something that's dealing with, a relationships, another person's relationships type shit. You know, you may say something that's dealing in that nature. Um, and what you want, far as balance, what you think you're not getting. You know, you might be in that position too. Like what you want, what you think you're not getting is affecting you, and um, what you may express, another individual, because you may be at the heat of the moment and you just reacting and responding to just the unfulfillment of the new moon. You know what I'm saying? You're not really finna see how you finna expose yourself. So you about to express something, but you're naked emotionally and you exposing yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the way you expose yourself is the problem. You hear what I'm saying? Because people still see that. You know what I'm saying? So you might not think people see it, but his eyes, you know what I'm saying? You ever heard uh that saying God see that? You know what I'm saying? Like the great spirit say like it's almost like a karma thing, but karma ain't something that we get back. Karma is how we got here. So if you have to go to extremes to do some of the things that you get exposed for, that's why you in that position anyway, because you don't really got no place where you really want to connect for real. You know what I'm saying? You gotta want to connect. You gotta want to connect. You gotta want to make sense. You gotta want to be able to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. If you get what I mean. For real, the right way. The right way. But yeah, but yeah, we deal with real connections. We deal with we're speaking real evidence, and it's a lot of things that's going on in the world that ain't real. It's a lot of things that's going on in the world ain't real. Like even the music industry, like what is it? You know what I'm saying? What is it? Like we gotta figure out what is it. Is everybody? Not everybody kind of know. Like you gotta get picked. You know what I'm saying? That's what they saying is what they call it, a ritual, some type of ritual, or some like a bash ritual, or when you gotta paint your nails and stuff like that. It ain't even necessarily that, but it's more so that you gotta have a theme mind. You know what I'm saying? Like say like for me, for instance, like I can do all rap, right? That's why y'all see Go Crazy going nuts because the hood love it, but I still can be intellectual, right? So, but because my mind frame ain't in just how Go Crazy sound and shit like that, and I express that and have awareness about that, that's why I'm not gonna get picked because my mind ain't just in the hood mentality. I gotta be able to be used. I gotta be able to be utilized to get utilized. You get what I'm saying? But if I, but I'm aware, so I can't get utilized like they would like. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? You won't get picked in certain fashions and things. But yeah, that shit is for sure crazy. When you think about it, you know what I'm saying? And then you gotta thinking like, what do white people want? Like, I guess they just really want. It's just because the sentiment just sounds like they just want niggas off the land of America. When I listen to it, like overall, it's just like they want somebody gone, and that's crazy because that don't have no common sense, and you can't get rid of common sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a bunch of people in a world that's trying to make common sense like that's not a thing. That's like a sin. Like that's like a negative sin. That's like trying to say something don't exist that actually existed. You know what I'm saying? Like that don't mean it existed. That just mean you kind of making up an imagination to forget it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just you creating like retardedness. You know? So that's the thing. But yeah, yeah. And that's how we get people with jobs and stuff like that that can call y'all mentally ill and stuff and put y'all on medicine and and then not even be from the soil you own. So these things gotta be thought about. You know what I'm saying? They can put y'all look at Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Gucci. But he accepted his life and stuff like that. But it's almost like um they like that program because they like that program. That's why I was on Breakfast Club. His book finna go number one because they need something to get y'all hood people under control. Y'all they problem. Black people is white people problem. You know, black people is white people problem. They made that up. They came to that conclusion of what that is. That's just their problem. So that's why they got to deal with y'all. That's why you need to get and know your roots and shit like that. So you don't gotta claim that shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Yeah, they made that shit up. Real shit. They made that shit up, man. Um, yeah. And then another thing, I don't like uh can the question because I hear a lot of white people, white boys ask this: Can blacks be racist and stuff like that? And let's just say specifically in America, can blacks be racist or whatever? And I don't even like claiming black because, like I said, just a lot of us that's mixed with a lot of things, and a lot of us ain't even from ain't lineage ain't even from here. So some of but some of a lot of us are from here, like you know what I'm saying. But yeah, um, what I was gonna say, yeah, they be asking, can blacks be? Let's just say in America, right? How can y'all even ask the question? What is y'all what is y'all equating to racism? You know, that's for the first question you gotta ask. Like, what is y'all equating to racism? Hmm? Because I would just say not nearly close to what white people could be as racism, right? Because you have a person that ain't got shit to do with their nepotism and what they pass down, as far as the U.S. government and how they structure to get people with the native spirit off the land and shit like that. So whatever, however that show up, whether you taking charge of your own land and shit like that, whether you taking charge of your own mind, whatever that spirit is, they don't like that. But but they like it for themselves. They like to use that for themselves. And if you using it, then they on your ass type shit. But they like to use it for themselves. Um, so that's why you see everybody that all these rappers, even with RICO charges and shit, they can get out and stuff, but they gonna be heavily surveillance. They can't do what they want to do and stuff like they essentially become puppets of the government and stuff like that. So they gotta show up at courthouses, do performances. Uh, you know what I'm saying? They gotta do some service, allow themselves to be monitored, check in. Like they become puppets. That's what a puppet is. Like you a puppet, and you only can do a thing because we pulling strings on how you move. So that's what a lot of y'all run into, like as far as trying to be successful and shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all run into try to be the best, how to be the next puppet. So it's really about just getting your situation. It ain't really about chasing fame, but it's really about having um a purpose, your own purpose, and you know, constantly defining that purpose. And like if you do something, you do it because you do it. You know what I'm saying? Not because you want to have a end result. You find a way to get your crowd. You find a way to share music with people that like music. Other than that, you trying to you forcing something synthetic and things. What do you expect it's gonna come out to? So even with just how they shaping playlists and shit, you're not even getting on playlists and shit. Which a lot it shouldn't be this playlist shouldn't be so you know uh restricted in a sense of like it should be categories of music that play every good sounding song that we all agree upon in that algorithm amongst us too. It's like should be like a different algorithm. But yeah, they be asking can blacks be racist or something like that and stuff. Not nearly to the heights that a white person can. I would just say that because even a white person is just racist when they not being racist, right? Like the fact that they can have nepotism and not give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because they not going to the courthouse like, oh, let's help these people out and shit like that. They're not doing that. So I don't think they could be just because that of alone and stuff like that. That's not a daily complaint in the white community and shit. And as far as like trying to get balanced and they accept it, you know what I'm saying? It's just like racist by default. Like it's default racism. That shit. Default racism. That's default racism. Chat, what's going on, man? Chat, what the fuck is going on? But yeah. So don't be trying to don't try to have your own. All my indie artists out there, don't try to have your own sound. Like if you got your own sound, like you trying to develop something unique and shit like that, you gotta be with the shit. Like you gotta really be with it. You know, and that's what anything you do. You gotta do 100% of it. That's why people that's willing to do more of those rituals, they get picked quicker than you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take that into anything you do. You know what I'm saying? So do it because you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Do it to the full maximum potential. That shit. Um, that'll get you where you want. But yeah, whites be having default racism and shit like that. That I we gotta coin that one. We gotta coin that one. Default racism. Like y'all default program is to be racist. Just because it's as many as y'all as it is, and it ain't no initiative for this racist shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the only time a white person ain't racist when they actually speaking about like not being racist or when they actually acted in that nature. Other than that, they got default racist. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Uh, yeah. So there's a couple things, rap. I wanted to talk about. Default racism for sure. Uh, try not to make it in the music industry unless you going to commit to the ritual 100% and shit like that. Whether it's getting with a program, you know what I'm saying? You got to go ahead and sacrifice yourself. And also, would y'all rather work a job for 40 hours, right? $40 an hour and not sell your soul or 60 because it really be like a $20 difference and shit like that. It really be like a $20 difference in corporate or 60 and sell your soul. Which one would you rather do? 40 an hour and not sell your soul or 65 an hour and sell your soul? That's the difference. That's the difference. Uh, yeah, this world is funny, man. This world is funny. Default racism is crazy. This shit crazy. You know, but yeah, so the new moon was in Libra. So we all had a new unfulfillment with our relationships and shit like that. And we had to show that unfulfillment. You know what I'm saying? With the moon in Scorpio, that shit got unveiled, and where we may be unfulfilled at, and where we may need to express some unfulfillment, so a person can either. So once we express that unfulfillment, a person can see that. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether that's negative or positive, you may be unfulfilled in a way that's positive by somebody realizing where they at. They're not doing a part of they shit and they just throwing all of that energy on you. And that's when you would be balanced off of the scale or too much in your carnal desires, like the raven flying down and eating up the flesh and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a bird, so it still has to share that higher nature as well and things. And so that's when they learn about balance and shit like that. That's how you can fuse Raven and and Libra together. Um, are you balanced? And you might not be balanced in a way where whatever you expressing, it just look like you just negative. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you too in your carnal nature and shit like that. You might got everything in the world and you want more. You know what I'm saying? You might got too much and you want extra. You know what I'm saying? You might got extra and you want something, and you might be so in your ego you don't see it like that. But guess what? People gonna start to look at you like that because people. You know what I'm saying? And everybody feel the goddamn spirit that the natives then brought up here. You know, which is these teachings and shit like that. Balance, how to know balance. You know, so that's how you could be on a positive end of expressing. On the negative end of expressing, oh, I already said that. You could just look like you want more. But the positive end is you expressing some unfulfillment, and then it looking like, okay, a person, what you expressing is valid. Let me get more balance to this. This do make sense. This do bring me to more of a equilibrium state. This do bring me to more of a peaceful state. This do bring me more to, you know, adding on to this, you know what I'm saying? This logic or whatever, or this idea, you know. So therefore you be balanced in where you really need to be balanced at in the mind first and shit like that. AKA you had a thought, you act on it with the ritual and spell, you know, whether that's even, hey, I'm gonna be a little bit nicer today. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a little bit nicer to this person. You know, I'm gonna be a little bit more helpful, you know, and that all adds on, you know, to that space that you esoterically went to when, you know, you was just thinking these things up. You know what I'm saying? We just use words to get, you know, make it what it is. But it's about, you know, it ain't about nobody winning, but it's about everybody being on spiritually the same page and things, and that could automatically just lead to like better shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we all working together in the mind, and that's when we really get above these lower animalistic demonic concepts and shit like that. But you got white boy didn't create a whole system. They said we white, so we gonna play the upper. You know what I'm saying? We They start thinking, oh, we actually manifest that and shit like that. It still gotta work together. They ain't gotta work together negatively. That's how y'all start looking negative. Y'all start looking like don't you know on anything you go too far into one side, you know what I'm saying? You start looking like the negative side. And that's why you got all the white kids and shit want to be black in hip hop and shit. And then you got all the black kids want to cosplay white. Spirit be working, spirit be working. But yeah, the over negativity and you rich is crazy. Like it's just like crazy. It's just like crazy. The over negativity and you got a backyard and a pool and you know what I'm saying? Nice job and shit things and all of that. And y'all TikTok people, man, y'all need to get the fuck offline, man. Like y'all need to get offline. Like people these work in these offices that be trying to block people and stuff like that, just because the label ain't partnership with your company and shit like that. Y'all are ass. Y'all are y'all are y'all are ass as a people because y'all got jobs and shit. Because y'all got jobs. Oh, we know something about hip hop. Head ass. Who the fuck told y'all know anything and stuff? So y'all, everybody, you on these apps and shit like that, the shit y'all see going extra viral, read all about it. That's the companies and shit like that. They picking what they want to go viral. They picking what they want to go viral. You know what I'm saying? So if something go viral organically and stuff like that, you did the first step. The second step is evaluation. You know what I'm saying? And once they evaluate you and shit like that, like I said, if you ain't all in and then look like something they familiar with, well, god damn it, you know what I'm saying? They finna become Pee Wee Hermans. They finna become your manager at your job. Why you got on this outfit? Why you got on this? You ain't dressed up for the job. You ain't did the humiliation ritual. Well, it go like that. That's how it go. That's how it go. But yeah, man, the no honor gotta stop. The manipulation behind the scenes, trying to run psyops on people, it gotta stop. It's like y'all can't get rid of common sense. Like it's literally people promoting trying to get rid of common sense. It's people putting millions into that, trying to stop common sense. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. But you should never be the one to complain. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta be big bro. You know what I'm saying? Type shit, and then see for what it is. And then that's how you can be utilized as a vessel for God. You know what I'm saying? To shit, be something that I ain't never seen before. And that's about it. Once you do that shit, you on your way. You on the mission. You on the path. You on the mission. You on the path. But yeah, man. Let's go. Streaming. Keep streaming. Keep streaming. Keep streaming. Uh, Finally about to bounce out this um apartment we was in and stuff like that. So getting some last minute things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just that everybody just keep common sense, man. And we'll just have a better world. Like, just don't let common sense down. Like, if common sense is common sense, then if it's that's why it's best to all y'all creatives just to create y'all own shit, man. Get with y'all people and things. Understand the times. Don't allow them to keep wasting y'all time and shit like that. Y'all put a bunch of energy out towards certain things. Put some energy out towards your homies' music. Put some energy out towards, you know what I'm saying, some shit that you believe in. You know what I'm saying? Put some energy out towards uh, doing a video with your homie. You know what I'm saying? Put this video out with doing a video with an artist or doing a song with a person that got the same thoughts and feelings as you. Like, do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, build that shit to where they want to come to y'all. You heard? Or they just gonna keep making it in a position where they can make y'all look cool, but y'all still not making yourself look cool. And then they can make 100 decoys of you and shit like that. Or so, or use somebody that got similar energy as you and try to cancel you out and make you look like what you doing not right type shit. That's the type of shit they be on, man. But yeah, stream chat, man. We did about 40 minutes, so you know, I do got to get back to some real business and shit, and we'll tap in. It's been a Raven new moon, so like I said, you know, you was supposed to have some fulfillment in, you know, and depending on how much you express you was empty, you know what I'm saying? That's how much you gonna have to fulfill. You know what I'm saying? That's how much you gonna have to do to fulfill your cup and things. And your cup is the new moon. So once it start waxing, you know, putting on more form, you know what I'm saying? More formality, because we're gonna be able to start to see it form, take forms through the transition. It's gonna fill up to full again, and you know what I'm saying. By that time, you want to be fulfilled for the most part with your with the shit that you got going on. And you do that through the certain moon phases. So right now the moon is in Scorpio. So you want to start feeling fulfilled with how you are reacting to the right desires, motivations within your relationships. You know what I'm saying? You want to start filling that up with that juice or that substance that you get from paying attention to your relationships, right? And then seeing the behind the scenes of it. And then however you feel about that and you lounging that will become the little juice that you put in that new moon cycle, overall becoming your drink. So when the moon get full and stuff like that, you ain't gotta overcompensate because you didn't have enough and shit like that all the way back to the new moon to create a new cup and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? yeah, Native Americans got the best knowledge and shit like that. All right, man. Yeah, stream has been one. Chat has been one. Peace. Get y'all